Hello everyone, I'm Bobby K, and this is Snazzo the Clown.
Hello everyone, it's Bobby K.
Hello everyone, it's Bobby K.
Hello everyone, it's Bobby K.
Hello everyone, it's Bobby K, and welcome to my YouTube channel.
Now, way back when I came up with a concept for Snazzo, and I took a couple months to draw it out. But he is finally here and built and ready to be showcased. So let's go back to the very beginning when I first came up with the concept for him.
So I had come up with the concept for this guy in about early to mid 2024. I really liked the idea of a demented clown animatronic, and more of a classic clown at that too. So I ended up coming up with the idea for Snazzo, and I tried to draw him out a couple times. I just never was able to. I ended up making his audio then, and then just a couple months later, I ended up actually making a drawing of him, which I was pretty happy with. And then a couple months later, I actually bought a bunch of PVC, and I started to build his frame. Now, this I don't really have any actual photos of, but what I do have to say is that I accidentally showed his frame in the background of my Gemmy Day video. It was completely disassembled, and you could barely tell what it was, but you could tell I was trying to make something, and I'm sort of glad people didn't point it out, because that would have spoiled the whole surprise. Now, it took me a while before I actually then started to get moving on him, but here you can see I made a general shape of his face out of a, just tinfoil here. So that's the beginning forms of his head. Then I sculpted over it in form clay, and this is the face after I originally sculpted it. And the thing is, that night I left Snazzo upstairs and I went downstairs for about an hour. Then I came back upstairs to find his face was pretty much completely melted. I don't have any pictures of it, but it pretty much got entirely flattened just because of gravity and how it was sitting. So I ended up having to push it back into shape, and yeah. Here's a picture of his body with just his head where his, torso should be, just sitting there all night waiting for me to set an alarm. I set an alarm for every 2 hours that night so I could get up and make sure that his face wasn't melting onto the floor again. The next day, I just set his head up in front of the air conditioner just to, help it dry quicker. And here is a picture of his frame where I actually have Mr. Punchy's shirt on it, which is the shirt that I ended up using. I just hadn't spray painted it at this time yet. That night I ended up building his mechanism. So here's a picture of that, and I'll show a video of it in action here in a minute.
Ignore the South Park episode audio in the background.
Is this the parking lot? I think so.
Head's gonna attach onto here.
Here it is after I built the shoulder frame on top of the wood there. And this here was after I added some more PVC pieces to give the angles in the arms a little bit more direct. And then there was some pool noodles added as well. This is him all together at the time. It looks kind of weird. I did end up shortening it, as you can see. I think I may have shortened it even more afterwards. What you just saw there was a video of him in action at the time, and right here is after the first coat of paint on the shirt. This is after my second coat on the shirt and pants, and I think they're about done here, and here's a close-up on the texture of the shirt. I think it looks pretty good. This is just a picture of him I took from a distance on that night. I think it looks pretty creepy. Then I ended up bringing in his head to start painting it. I started painting it here. Here's the first layer, more progress pictures. Second progress picture. Here's the third progress picture. This is when I started doing some black washing, and then here is the full black wash with him completely done. I think it came out really good. Here's the first hand done. I just cut up a pool noodle and used parts of it for the fingers and the palm, and then I glued it around the horn. Here he is after I had gotten his suspenders and pulled up his pants and stuff, and with the first hand attached, and here is him pretty much completely finished. After that was done, I added some rust marks on the horn and on the hands, and all I had left to do was spray paint the base, which I don't think I have any pictures of. But other than that, that is the entire process of how I made Snazzo the Clown. And at that point, Snazzo was almost completely finished. I only added a couple other things after that. Like I said, I painted the base black, and I actually added some paracord that comes down from the back of him and attaches to his base, because he was getting pretty wobbly, and he is very top heavy because of the 2x4s that are basically his shoulder structure. But other than that, I am really liking how Snazzo came out.
That's how I made Snazzo. If any of you have any questions, feel free to ask him in the comments. I am super proud of him. He's definitely my favorite custom that I've made ever. Not just of this round, ever. I really like how he came out, and I love his backstory too. Just everything about him, I don't know how I could top with another prop. So, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if not, I'll see you next time.
Alright everyone, this has been Bobby K. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.